Okay, so this is a mini rapport building training, and I just wanted to go over some really important first things to know about going into a new client. And you've gotten all this training, and you've gotten your credential. Whether you are starting a permanent client, or you are a sub, especially if you are going to be an RBT sub, this is going to hopefully really help you. So it's really important to know academic intelligence is going to be really important. And what I mean by that is that, yes, you have your credential, and yes, you may or may not be in school, and you're going to learn a lot. But it's really important that when you are given a client, whatever the deficiency, whatever the neurodivergency is, it's really important to read up on that. There's articles, there's books. Get really good, solid information, because you really want to get to know this client and all the deficiencies and behaviors, especially. You're going to want to know what to look for, what to be prepared for, so that you're not just walking into a situation where you're caught off guard. Because when we are with a client, one of the most important things is to not react to behaviors. And if you know ahead of time what to expect, you could just be that much more aware and prepared. So get those articles, get those books, learn a little bit more about what you might be seeing, what this client might be dealing with, know some triggers that, maybe some sensory triggers that might occur. And then you can have an idea of, where you need to be and what you need to provide. Because there's going to be, of course, a lot of preparation in what you're doing to make sure that your rapport building is as effective as possible, because that's what we're doing, right? We're getting to know our client, we're engaging, and we're playing, and that's going to really help you to be able to play better and engage better with your client. The second thing would be to have a cheat sheet. Have a little cheat sheet. You could take it with you. I have one that I could send you. And sometimes, we walk into a client, and yes, we have the right to look at their IEP and everything, but that could be a lot. It's a lot of information to process when you are walking into a new client, and you need to be hands-on and you need to be with that client. So the reality is that you might not be able to get to read it till lunchtime, or when after the fact that you've already been interacting with your client. So if you have a little cheat sheet, it can give you and the teacher just a little bit more of a transparency. It's really hard for a teacher to step away from what she's doing and say, oh yeah, don't do this, this is what he likes, blah, blah, blah. So if you can write it down, or even if you know that you're going into a classroom or you're going with a new client, these are some of the things that you should ask your BCBA or your supervisor or the teacher in the classroom. So you're going to want to know the child's interests. Is it a small child? Do they love trains? Is it a middle school child? Are they into Pokemon? Are they into electronics? Whatever that interest is. And you do want to be careful with preferred items, because you can make it too preferred, and then that's where you get the physical aggression. So we'll talk about that in another video, but do be aware that something can become too preferred if you make it too exciting. So just be aware of that. But so you're going to want to know the interests. You're going to want to know what behaviors to look for, to expect, so that you're not kind of caught off guard. There are always behaviors that a teacher can tell you, because they've been with this child for however long. And then you're going to want to know what works, what is working with this child. Do they have a token board that's working? Have they tried the token board and it doesn't work? So know what works, know what doesn't work, know what some triggers are. Your child could have some sensory needs, and maybe those are the things like fidgets and trinkets and that sort. Maybe that's something that needs to be on the cheat sheet for you to know. Maybe there's a favorite one that they take. So those are some of the really important things to know when you are walking into a new client. And even if you've been with a client for a little bit and you're just I just can't seem to make, a connection. These are the things that you should really hone in on. And remember, we're going to see behaviors. That's just the nature of our career. And so be prepared for that. We're going to go through some more training videos on how to really not react to those, how to keep your composure. That's something that I'm constantly told, like, wow, you really don't even react. It's like, and it's not that I don't care. It's not that I don't notice them, but I do have a really good way of keeping my composure when behaviors are happening, because in order to de-escalate a behavior or dissolve it, we don't react, right? So we'll do that in another training video. But read up on those articles, get to know your client, and start to play with them. So once you know their interests and everything, you can start to, whether it's really like age appropriate for your child or in their interest, oh man, I have these Pokemon cards, and maybe you're not like giving it to them and they're not interested in you yet, but you're like talking about this, your favorite one. And then they're like, oh, well, what is that? So you're going to start to engage with the things that they want to engage with, and that's going to help you gain their interest and rapport, so that they can get comfortable with you and trust you and know why you're there in their safe space. So we'll go into a little bit more of narrating as we go through these mini little trainings. So I hope that was helpful for you. Have a great day. Don't forget to process and play. Bye-bye.